These are the patch notes for 1.1.17 and the hotfixes for 1.1.15. Features and changes. Added more rock islands in the deep desert, primarily in the PvE area, to allow for more resources and real estate for base building. Effective on July the 29th after the Coriolis Storm Apex. If you encounter a connection issue while crossing between servers in the deep desert and leave your ornithopter, it'll be teleported to the respawn location alongside you. Ben, if you're reading this, your base power is out. Fixes. Improve server and client stability. Fixed an issue where you could lose connection to the server if you exited the ornithopter after the failed attempt to cross between deep desert partitions. Fixed an exploit that allowed a player to gain experience using points of interest. Fixed a vulnerability that allowed players to duplicate items in social hubs. Fixed an issue where you could fail to climb the sides of a small shipwreck and get into a rubber-banded state. I'm just going to quickly mention the hotfixes that were applied for 1.1.15. So the first hotfix was improved client and server stability, fixed an issue where players who disconnected or crashed during a respawn on a different map or server would get a timeout error, preventing them from accessing the game. Fixed a rare issue where the vulture mode to cross sector borders in the deep desert could cause the ornithopter to fall beneath the terrain and be lost. Fixed an issue where sometimes components could fail to spawn in deep desert loot. Fixed an issue that allowed using rockets to target players out of sight. Hotfix 2 fixes improve server and client stability. I feel like that's in everyone, but I'll say it anyway. Fixed an additional instance of the issue where players were sometimes unable to travel from Arakeen and Harko Village to the overland map. Fixed an edge case issue where inventory items could get missing after traveling between the maps. Fixed an issue with invisible inventory items when the player moved the items between the inventories and quickly swapped their positions in the target inventory. Fixed the vulnerability that allowed item duplication at the exchange while trading or in inventories. Visually, you may see duplicated items on your game client, but they don't exist. Fixed an issue where players were unable to connect to the game, receiving the H74 error code message. And the last hotfix, number 3 for 1.1.15, was fix the vulnerability that allowed players to dupe Solari at city bankers, and fix the vulnerability that allowed players to harness other players' vehicles without having the vehicle permission. And that is all the patch notes for 1.1.17 and the hotfixes for 1.1.15. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are interested in finding out all the patch notes when an update drops on Dune Awakening, stay tuned to this channel. Also, there'll be more guides coming soon. Peace.